So after successfully reviewing every single pinball game on the Mega Drive, I was thinking, where do we go next? The Saturn seemed like the obvious route, and while I certainly want to go there eventually, this is Sega Driven and we always go for the more niche option. So here we are with a bumper video featuring mini reviews of every single pinball game on the Master System. The problem with this concept is there are only 2 pinball games on the Master System. However, thanks to the work of some dedicated Master System fans over at SMS Power, we can artificially increase the amount of Master System pinball games to 4, thanks to some nifty conversions of 2 Game Gear games. Anyway, let's get to it. First up, let's talk about Sonic Spinball. This Master System port is clearly a very quick downgrade of the Game Gear version because you'll notice the menu and title cards are all very small, a clear sign that they're taken directly from the Game Gear version. This is unfortunately just as bad as the Game Gear version, with choppy scrolling and unresponsive controls. Like its bigger brother, the aim of the game is to collect all the Chaos Emeralds on each table so you can open up a boss battle, defeat the boss and move on to the next table. You still maintain a small amount of influence over Sonic even when you're slapping him around the table, which helps you lean him into the areas you want him to go. But it all feels very imprecise and it's just not very fun to play. It's certainly not as impossible as a lot of people make it out to be, but it's still a bad game that requires a lot of patience to enjoy. Also, it's ridiculously sought after nowadays, with copies going for upwards of £100, and it's just not worth it. If you have to play it, then get the Game Gear version. It's basically the same game with more colours on screen, and it's considerably more affordable. Next up we have Casino Games. This collection of minigames is loosely themed around a casino and bizarrely features a pinball table as one of its included minigames. It's quite a good one as well, with the entire table fitting on screen at a slanted angle. The table features quite a few pinball gimmicks like bumpers, kickers, drop targets, spinners and rollovers, and it makes for an interesting play. You can even change the severity of the table's angle to make the action more forgiving or difficult. It should be a slam dunk, but unfortunately the ball's hitbox is literally that, a box. This means it doesn't interact with the table naturally, bouncing around in strange ways when it should be rolling smoothly against certain surfaces. It's not game breaking, but it certainly makes this table feel weird to play. The space between the flippers is also very large and it leads to a lot of unfair ball drains. But of the 2 pinball games on the Master System, this is definitely the more desirable option, even if it does have its problems. Now we move on to Game Gear conversions. First up we have the Game Gear port of Amiga favourite Pinball Dreams, and despite some weird colours during transitions, this isn't a bad conversion. Sure, there's some weird wraparound going on as the table scrolls up and down, but this is simply a case of the larger Master System resolution revealing what graphical elements the Game Gear is storing off screen. It's not too distracting, all things considered. The big issue with this port of Pinball Dreams is that the tables have been massively simplified. All habit rails have been removed alongside the entire beatbox table. This means every table plays very similarly, with the only features being targets, rollovers, bumpers and kickers, and while the physics are pretty solid, the simplicity of the tables means this doesn't have a lot of staying power. The 8-bit renditions of the table themes are quite nice though. And finally we have another Game Gear conversion, this time of Wizard Pinball from Domark. This title is fairly reminiscent of Devil Crash MD, as it features a significantly longer table and bonus mini-tables with a single objective. It's a great little game with decent physics and a lot going on, But sadly, this conversion reveals a lot of elements that the Game Gear resolution was hiding off screen. And unlike the Pinball Dreams conversion, these elements are very distracting. It takes a lot of concentration to focus on the centre of the screen and block out all the garbled mess that surrounds the playfield, and it makes the scrolling of the table really hard to read visually. It's a real shame because if this stuff could be tidied up or hidden from view, it would make Wizard Pinball the best Master System pinball offering, because it's such a nifty little title that plays great and features the most diverse table of the lot. A real shame.